I personally, of course, I love Miller High Life, but my wife enjoys more crafty beers, and she wanted like a Dogfish Head, and it was one of those like pounders type of a deal, maybe not quite a pounder. And the guy, maybe he rang up wrong. He's like $3. I was like, that's the cheapest drink we've had in New York, absolutely. And it's on the ferry, you know.
Yeah. So when I lived there, I would literally you get it on the one side, you get a beer or two. And you go across the other side, and then you get 2 more coming back, and you're done for the night. It's great. That's it, yeah. But anyway, so I'd have to take that, which was great. That was a great part of it because you got the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, beautiful view.
And this was before 9/11, so you had the Twin Towers and stuff like that. But no, it wasn't.
It couldn't have been. No, because I'm looking at it here. That was 2005.
I thought there wasn't any fact check.
I got it in front of me.
No, but I remember one day they did the lights up for it.
Sure, okay.
So that was cool. But
remember.
So you had to do that. Then you got this train up to literally under the World Trade Center.
Okay.
That's where you got the PATH train from New Jersey to go over to Hoboken. And that's where all my buddies were drinking. So it would take me 3 hours to get there.
Yeah.
And as soon as I get there, they're like, tequila.
Okay. Make up for lost time.
Yeah, it was tequila in a half an hour. And then it's like, well, I don't think I can make it back.
Yeah.
And I wasn't tight enough with any of the guys because this is all we had. You know, and they were, we had Australians, Irishmen. You know, it wasn't like, there wasn't that guy from BFE Western PA that I could hook up with and talk to, you know?
Yeah.
So that was kind of, the drinking there didn't help.
Yeah, okay, you know, it was a hindrance.
Yeah, it was a hindrance.
It almost pushed you out of the club, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it was my job, but the club definitely did not help.
Yeah, so when we spoke to Scout Cheeks, obviously, who left, and her and Gator had to break it down for me about how she played at an elite level, and then not that she made a step down, but just whatever she was going to do was being a step down.
Right.
When you left Slippery Rock and you joined your first men's team, was that a step down or a step up for you?
That was Division 1. That was Division 1 Metro New York, so that was playing Old Blue.
Okay.
That was playing Nyack. I mean, back in those days, there was no professional rugby, so that was as close.
That was the creme to the creme.
Yeah, and but I mean, there were still some bad teams there. Like we were a bad team.
Okay.
We probably got beat most of the time by them. One time we played Old Blue, and the guys were like, "Yeah, that guy just got cut from the Jets. He's playing outside center."
Jeez.
And you're like, "Oh, well, here we go."
We played the guy who's a tight end for the Lions when we played the Tradesman.
Okay.
Yo, that was
from Detroit, right?
I've never been that close to a man that big.
Yeah.
And did you know, like, did someone inform you this is an ex-NFL?
Social.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you could tell, like, oh, this guy, if anyone was
significantly, he was built like an NFL player.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a step up. Now, Slippery Rock to Pittsburgh rugby, definitely a step up because, like I told you before we got started, we played against the Highlanders, we played against South Pitt, we played against Greensburg. It was a lot different back when I was in college. It was probably kind of in between for you, Gator, but we would play South Pitt probably 8 times a spring.
Oh, wow.
Because
just to get the games in.
No, we're at Cal tournament.
Okay, gotcha.
We got at the Cal tournament, we're at the Slippery Rock tournament, we're at the West Virginia tournament. And then the only time we ever always played college was the Pitt City one up at Cooper's Lake. But every other time it was pretty much, it was the Highlanders, South Pitt, Greensburg, Slippery Rock, Cal, West Virginia.
Yeah.
We're in 4 tournaments and we just played it in a different place.
Yeah. Just the same faces constantly.
That's how, like, if we went to tournaments, it was the same teams. Like, I remember Ken DeLuca, I guess you played with him. Never at that point had played against a guy that big, and that was a nice tough matchup.
But it was Division 2 when I first started. Anyway, Division 2 college men's was pretty equivalent,
which was Slippery Rock.
Yeah, was pretty equivalent to D3 college men.
Yeah.
So who was your league? Like, did you play like IUP, Cal U?
Yeah, so IUP was D1 back then. It was the games that Bill Marnell told you about on the podcast was against us and was against West Virginia. Yeah.
Sure,
yeah. So we had, not in the very beginning, but when he got there, we had really good backs.
Right.
And we always made fun of Cal U, and I hope he listens to this. But we said, when is that guy going to graduate?
Which was who?
Because it was everybody in Cal U, whole forwards, all 8 forwards. We always wondered when they were going to graduate. They look my age.
And now you're 38.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They were balding. They had full beards.
Big gut.
Yeah, big gut. So the whole joke with Cal was, when are they going to graduate? West Virginia was way different than what it is now. Like, you go down to their rugby field now, it's ridiculous. But we'd go play next to a field that was like half of the hillside by their basketball stadium. So we played them. Pitt was in our little division. Franciscan would bounce up and down.
Now bouncing up to you guys or bouncing down to you guys?
They would bounce up and down. So back then it was literally the ARU was the college.
Okay.
So you had Division II and Division III men's. And then IUP was in the Marfu because there was no Division I teams in Western PA.
Yeah.
So we were like our longest trip in college, which was great, was West Virginia. It was 2 hours.
Perfect.
West Virginia. Yeah, it was awesome. Then Cal was just a little less. Pitt was an hour. I'm trying to think who else we played.
And like obviously, me and Gade have touched base on it on the podcast before, and we'll get into your weekends away. But in the men's game, if you're going away for a big trip, obviously you guys have just come back from Chicago.
Yeah.
When we're going on that distance, if we lose the game or if we win the game, we're making the most of it. In college, was it the same? Like, are you staying down there afterwards?
So we started, I think it was probably like my junior year, we started to get a lot better. So how that worked is they would essentially get 4 teams and try to pick a neutral-ish site.
Yeah.
For us, it was Cincinnati, Dayton, went to Grand Rapids one year.
Okay.
So there we'd play Red's team. We played Dayton probably before he was on it.
Probably. He was only there for a year.
Yeah.
He just turned 30. Yeah.
Also coached Red's brother, too.
Yeah, with Pitt,
Nav.
Yeah.
But
was he any good? I hear he's the real talent. I hear Matt Gribowitz was always the weak brother. The younger brother was always the talent.
Can I off the record?
Off the record. It's all off the record, Derek. Once you say that, no one else hears. Go.
Off the record. Yeah.
Jamie, cut this recording.
No, because I'd be biased because I coached them, so I would hope I'm better than the Dayton coach.
Exactly. Good for you. That's a smart response. That is a smart response.
But yeah, so it was like Cincinnati, like Ohio teams, and they were Division I colleges. That's how it used to work. And the weird thing is kind of like I don't know what the saying is, but if you put somebody in an environment where they have to get better, then they either get better or they die, right?
Sure, yeah.
So we're battling. We're Little Slippery Rock with Little Cal against Big West Virginia and Big Pitt, right?
Yep.
And it was a crapshoot who won,
right?
Pretty much. Now the USA Rugby changed it and said if you're this big, you go there.
Okay.
So now I'm coaching Pitt, and I love my Slippery Rock guys, but we would murder them.
Sure.
And it's weird how it just changed like that because you said, okay, you guys have to go do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, at Pitt, nothing's changed. Facilities haven't changed. Money hasn't changed. Equipment, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Still volunteer coaches.
Sure.
We have now instead of being on dirt in the cathedral lawn, we have a turf. What do you call it? With the flag football field.
Okay.
So it's not a full size pitch or anything like that.
Yeah.
Facilities have upped a little bit.
Yeah,
not enough.
but not
to
hugely.
we don't have a scrum sled. We talked about the strength and conditioning coach. We don't have access to that.
Yeah.
We don't get favorable scheduling or anything like that.
Sure.
But just them making us move up and play these other people has just made us better.
Yeah. Eat or be eaten, basically, right? It's just basically you got to improve. Okay, fair enough.
Right.
No other real option.
Right.
And we'll touch base on that again. So basically, you joined the Highlanders. That was your first taste of local rugby.
Right.
You were there for about a season, probably a little less.
Yeah.
And then you took a few years out and you went coaching. Right. And you decided, I'm going to put my playing rugby career. This is in 2006.
Yeah.
So this is still when you're in, technically, obviously you're a forward.
Yeah.
Forwards game can go on a little longer. This is in your peak of your career. Yeah. And you stopped playing. You took about a 3-year gap. Yeah. And you concentrated on coaching Slippery Rock College.
Right. Yeah, the guys just asked me, they said, well, you're pretty much living here. Do you want to coach? Do you want to coach us? We'll pay for you to go get your certification. I always wanted to coach anyway.
Sure.
When I was at Slippery Rock, we didn't have a coach, so I was the captain coach from 2002 to 2005.
So your second year in college, the boys respected you so much, they said, we want you to be captain/coach.
Yeah. And I mean, that's just kind of how it worked up there. Just because, and it's still the case up there, it's hard to get somebody to drive up from Pittsburgh.
Well, in a lot of places, and even Gator mentioned that, I keep asking him, like, what's going on in Allegheny? And he was always saying, player coached.
Yeah.
So there's always, like, one lad just kind of stands out. almost like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
We follow you.
Like if you played in high school, you were like,
oh, for sure, yeah.
That's all you needed. Have you ever watched rugby before? I have, where you're the coach.
Yeah. And the thing is back when I played, you pretty much couldn't live in Pittsburgh and played in high school. So you had to be from Philly. And so I did that. I came back from New York City, and the guys were like, yeah, we'll pay for you to get certified. I'm like, well, all right, I'll pretend to be in college for another few years.
Yeah, sure.
And I managed to move about five miles from campus.
Okay.
So it all worked out. I mean,
then obviously this is a rugby podcast, but work-wise, where were you working? You were working
I was
in
working
the area?
from my house.
Okay, working
yeah,
from
so
your
this
house.
was
So ideal.
We moved up there because my wife was working in Franklin. So if you know PA, right between Franklin and Slippery Rock is Harrisville, and that's where we lived.
Okay. So this was ideal.
Yeah, and I was probably looking back on it, I probably was the biggest piece of shit because I was literally acting like I was in college, but I had a job. So, I mean, going to the parties and stuff, like, it was just stupid. Yeah.
No, I'm jealous. That's what I want to do now.
I think that's Derek Gator's dream. Yeah. Be a college student, but get paid, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So you were doing, like, training twice a week, game on a Saturday?
So that's the other reason. Up at Slippery Rock, I thought we were always a little bit, more polished than everybody. We practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, so we practiced for 2 hours every one of those days, and then game on Saturday.
And this is funny, Derek, and this was from around 2002 onwards, correct?
2006 when I was coaching.
When you were coaching. So we've spoken previously on the pod about how there seems to have been, like, every team in the AIU right now, like, a really strong player is an ex-Slippery Rock player. Jordan Heberley, would you have coached him?
Yes.
Hudnall down in Greensburg? Never. Okay.
He's my age.
Okay, is he a little younger?
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously a lot of current Highlanders, we would have had Dave Ball, would you have coached him?
Yes.
Okay. So it's kind of like the golden generation was trained 4 days a week by Derek Neubauer. It's funny that, isn't it? You work out 4 days a week and you get really good at rugby.
I mean, well, I hope for them it helped that they had a coach.
Sure.
Because what else was I there for? But yeah, if you can have, I mean, up there in our glory years, we had a squad of 45.
Yeah.
And we were playing each other.
Yeah, sure. Training
that makes a big difference.
Yeah, big difference, yeah.
I feel like that's how the Forge got good, because, like, you guys had enough dudes to do drills. You have the dudes to, hey, I'm going to compete against you for a spot. Like, it's just not my spot.
No, it's absolutely like that. And there are some cons, just just as being a coach. We have 2 men's coaches, and sometimes one practice we had 65 guys. Like, how do you drill 65 guys? You can't even play a game because you still have another 35 guys to do it.
So they are good problems to have, aren't they? Yeah. So at that stage, were you boys almost putting out a C side, an A side, a B side, and a C side?
Yeah. So, up in Slippery Rock, for the most part, it was really good. It was a really good time because for the most part, everybody had at least an A and B. So you do your A. Back when I first started playing, it was a lot of you play A, then you play B. And then probably about 2003, that all ended and everybody had enough for, at least we always did. I don't know if everybody did.
Yeah.
But you would get 2 80-minute games.
Nice.
So if you had a C side, you'd put them in the last 20 minutes or whatever.
Sure, yeah. Nice. So, obviously, coaching has always been a constant theme for you, Derek. You jumped into Slippery Rock. You were there for about 6 years.
Yep.
Now, you weren't a paid coach, I presume?
No.
But they paid for you to get your badges and you could live on, basically being a student, but you were there part of...
So, we're sticking with Slippery Rock. Like, when I first joined, like, men's rugby, I felt like a third of the players that were on my team or we played against were all Slippery Rock alumni. Well, how did you guys, like, continue the tradition? Like, when I first started, our team was about a third Allegheny people. But now I got me and, like, one other dude, and then no other Allegheny alumni play. Well,
the way I kind of think about that, and I mean, there's no science behind it, but you guys don't care about science.
Cheers.
So Cal and Slippery Rock, the type of schools they are going to get local people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we were lucky enough to get a couple guys from Philly, like you were talking about, that played in high school. We got a couple guys from Pittsburgh that played at Woodland Hills or something like that. So that helped. But people that come from this area, I think, really want to stay here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They love their Primanis.
Exactly. So you get a lot of Cal and a lot of Slippery Rock people that go there because it's affordable, it's close, and they hopefully are going to try to stay. And I think a lot of them do. Yeah. For as many as that you see around